Right now, you're living through a silent crisis. A crisis no one wants to talk about. Not the media, not Big Pharma, not even most doctors. Men's mental health is collapsing worldwide. Depression, anxiety, suicide. In the UK alone, suicide is the single biggest killer of men under 50. And in the United States, male suicide rates are nearly 4 times higher than female rates. But what if I told you a huge part of this mental health epidemic isn't just psychological, it's biological, it's hormonal, and it all ties back to one critical factor: testosterone, or more accurately, the lack of it. Today, we're diving deep into how declining testosterone is silently wrecking men's mental health, how it's being masked by a multi-billion-dollar industry, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. Let's get into it. The decline of testosterone. Over the last 50 years, average testosterone levels in men have dropped by up to 30%. And no, it's not just because you're getting older. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism in 2007 found that even after adjusting for age and other factors, men's testosterone levels have been declining decade after decade. This isn't aging, this is environmental, this is systemic. We're talking processed food loaded with endocrine disruptors, plastic leaching chemicals into our bodies, sedentary lifestyles, chronic stress, lack of sunlight, poor sleep, and yes, a culture that actively discourages masculine traits. The result? Men today have the testosterone levels of a 60-year-old back in 1950s, while they're still in their 20s. Testosterone and mental health. Now, why does this matter so much for mental health? Because testosterone isn't just about muscles or libido, it is a powerful regulator of mood, motivation, and resilience. Low testosterone isn't simply a nice fix issue, it's a deep biological shift that rewires how a man feels, thinks, and acts. In 2008, a study published in the American Journal of Psychiatry titled "Testosterone Levels and Depressive Symptoms in Men" showed a clear, inverse relationship. The lower a man's testosterone, the higher his risk for depression. And this wasn't a small sample size, it was a consistent, statistically significant trend. Another study from the Journal of Psychiatric Research in 2014 took it even further. Researchers found that men with low testosterone were significantly more likely to suffer from major depressive disorders, even after controlling for other variables like age, physical health, smoking status, and body mass index. In other words, low testosterone alone, not just bad habits or midlife crisis, was enough to trigger serious depression. And it goes even deeper. Testosterone plays a critical role in regulating key neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, the very chemicals that control your feelings of happiness, pleasure, drive, and emotional stability. When testosterone drops, dopamine levels collapse. You lose that sense of purpose, enthusiasm, and reward. Things that used to excite you, goals, dreams, relationships, suddenly feel dull or meaningless. Serotonin gets thrown off too, leading to emotional instability, mood swings, and persistent sadness. The cascade effect is brutal. When T drops, dopamine drops. When motivation crashes, energy evaporates. When energy evaporates, confidence shrinks. And when confidence shrinks, the spiral accelerates. You stop feeling like a man. You stop feeling like yourself. It's not just in your head. It's not a character flaw. It's not because you're weak or broken. It's in your blood. It's chemical. It's biological. And it's fixable if you know where to look. Yet most men are never told this. Instead, they're told just to talk about their feelings while their internal biochemistry is screaming for help. It's like trying to fix a broken engine and repainting the car and wondering why it still doesn't drive. Testosterone isn't optional for a man's mental health. It's foundational. If you want strength, clarity, courage, resilience, and purpose, you need optimal testosterone levels. It's not vanity, it's biology. How SSRIs mask the problem. So what happens when you walk into a doctor's office today saying you feel depressed, tired, anxious, disconnected? Do they check your testosterone levels, your vitamin D, your sleep quality, your metabolic health? No, most of the time you'll walk out with a prescription for an SSRI. selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Drugs like Prozac, Zoloft, Lexapro, these drugs don't fix the underlying hormonal imbalance. They simply numb the symptoms. Even worse, multiple studies have shown that long-term SSRI use can actually lower testosterone even further. One 2012 study published in the Psychoneuroendocrinology found that SSRI use was associated with a significant reduction in serum testosterone levels over time. Think about the cycle that creates low testosterone leads to depression. You're given SSRIs. SSRIs lower your testosterone even more. You get more depressed. You get more medication, and round we go. Meanwhile, the real cause, the silent hormonal collapse, is never addressed. Why is this being hidden? Now, you might wonder, if this is so obvious, why isn't it everywhere? Why aren't doctors talking about it? Why isn't it on the news? Why isn't it a national emergency? The answer is brutally simple. There's no money in natural testosterone optimization. There's no billion-dollar payout for telling you to lift heavy, eat real food, get sunlight, manage your stress, and sleep properly. But there are billions, literally billions, to be made selling SSRIs, anti-anxiety drugs, sleeping pills, mood stabilizers, endless rounds of therapy sessions. Big Pharma doesn't profit if you fix your hormone health naturally and reclaim your vitality. They profit when you're dependent, when you're broke just enough to keep buying and never healed enough to break free. They don't want customers who recover. They want lifetime customers. Customers who take one pill to numb the sadness, another pill to deal with the side effects, and then another to help them sleep at night. Customers who come back month after month, year after year. Customers who never fully heal and never fully question why. And it's not just the pharmaceutical industry. There's an entire culture narrative being pushed too. A narrative that tells men that feeling weak, passive, emotionally fragile, and disconnected from their natural drive is somehow healthy, that losing your aggression, your competitiveness, your ambition, your edge is a sign of progress, and that striving for strength, purpose, and vitality is somehow toxic. The message is everywhere. Masculinity is dangerous, discipline is oppressive, competition is bad, leadership is outdated. Meanwhile, young men are collapsing under skyrocketing rates of depression, anxiety, addiction, obesity, and suicide. And no one is asking the obvious question. What happens when you chemically and culturally castrate an entire generation? It's a perfect storm. A storm of broken bodies, broken minds, broken spirits, and men are drowning in it every single day while being told it's normal. But it's not normal. It's not inevitable. And once you see the system for what it is, you start to fight back. The psychological collapse of low testosterone. Low testosterone doesn't just make you sad. It fundamentally changes the way you interact with the world. You lose drive, you lose aggression, the healthy kind needed to chase goals. You stop taking risks, you isolate yourself, you stop working out, you gain fat, lose muscle, feel ashamed, and spiral even further. Every layer of your masculinity gets stripped away. This isn't some abstract theory. This is happening to millions of men right now, maybe even to you. Signs your mental health struggles are hormonal. Here are some signs your mental health struggles may be driven, at least in part, by low testosterone. Chronic fatigue, even after sleep. Loss of confidence, social withdrawal, decreased competitiveness, increased fat gain around the belly, low libido, difficulty making decisions. If you nodded along to more than a few of these, you owe it to yourself to get your hormone health checked. How to reclaim your testosterone. The good news is, you're not powerless. There are powerful science-backed ways to naturally reclaim your testosterone and vitality. Number 1, strength training. Studies consistently show lifting heavy weights boosts testosterone. Focus on squats, deadlifts, presses, pulls. Number 2, fix your sleep. Get 7 to 9 hours of deep, uninterrupted sleep. Sleep is when your body produces the most testosterone. 3, cut out plastics and processed foods. Avoid BPA, phthalates, soy, seed oils, and processed garbage that wrecks your endocrine system. 4, get sunlight and vitamin D. Aim for 20 minutes of real sun a day. Supplement vitamin D if needed, it's critical for T production. 5, manage stress properly. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, which directly suppresses testosterone. Meditate, breathe, fight back. 6. Eat a testosterone boosting diet. Focus on red meat, eggs, seafood, nuts, avocado, olive oil, real ancestral foods. 7. Cut alcohol and drugs. Alcohol is proven to lower testosterone. Hard drugs destroy it even faster. Look, you were never meant to live tired, weak, anxious and purposeless. That's not what being a man is about. That's not what you're here for. You are capable of strength, of clarity, of vitality, of leadership. But first, you need to take your health, your real health, into your own hands. Don't let a broken system keep you sick. Don't settle for life half-lived. Start rebuilding today, because the world needs strong men now more than ever. And that strength, it starts inside your blood. Thanks for watching this video. Remember to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.